Good evening. Wishes from our TV for a happy, prosperous and a blessed new year. You're joining with the State of Business on our television with me, Kavishka Pereira. Let's take a look at today's headlines first. President requests support of public to achieve sustainable development in 2019. President Maithripala Sirisena appeals to Sri Lankan public to help eradicate corruption in the new year. News in detail. Delivering his New Year's message, President Maithripala Sirisena elaborated upon the importance of understanding social, economic and political changes and requested the assistance of the public in making programs aimed at sustainable development a success.
අපි රටක් විදිහට කටයුතු කිරීමේදී අපට තිබෙන දේශපාලන ආර්ථික හා සමාජමය ප්‍රශ්නවලදී මූලික වශයෙන්ම අපේ වගකීම් සහ යුතුකම් මෙන්ම අපට තිබෙනා වූ අභියෝගද අප විසින් තේරුම් ගැනීම ඉතාමත් අවශ්‍ය වූ දෙයක්. මුළු ලෝකයේම පිළිගත් විශේෂයෙන්ම නව විද්‍යාත්මක ක්‍රමවේදයන් සහ සැලසුම් සමග ක්‍රියාත්මක වන තිරසර සංවර්ධන ඉලක්ක සම්පූර්ණ කර ගැනීම සඳහා 2019 වසරේ අප සියලු දෙනාම කටයුතු කිරීමේ වැදගත්කම මා හිතන්නේ ඔබ අප කවුරුත් පිළිගන්නා වූ දෙයක්. දුගී භවෙන් නිදහස් වීම සඳහා වඩාත් සමෘද්ධිමත් ආර්ථිකයක් ඇති කර ගැනීම සඳහාත් ඒ වගේම පරිසර සංරක්ෂණය ප්‍රමුඛව ස්වාභාවික සම්පත් ආරක්ෂා කිරීමේ වැදගත්කම තුල තිරසාර සංවර්ධන ජාතික වැඩසටහන සාර්ථක කර ගැනීමට ලබන 2019 වර්ෂය ඔබ සියලු දෙනාගේම සහයෝගය අනුග්‍රහය සහ සහභාගීත්වය මා ඉතාම ගෞරවයෙන් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
In his New Year's message, President Sirisena also requested the support of the public to eradicate corruption from state services in 2019.
ලබන නව වසර වඩාත් අර්ථවත් සුභවාදී වාසනාවන්ත සුන්දර වූ වර්ෂයක් බවට ඔබටත් රටටත් මුළු ලක්වැසි ජනතාවටත් වඩාත්ම ප්‍රතිඵලදායක වසරක් වේවායි කියා මම සුබපතන අතර ආශිර්වාද කරන අතර අපිට රාජ්‍ය පාලනයේදී රටේ සංවර්ධනයේදී ප්‍රබල අභියෝගයක් වී තිබෙනා වූ දූෂණයට විරුද්ධව ගෙනියන පුළුල් ජාතික වැඩසටහනේදී 2019 වර්ෂය දූෂණයට විරුද්ධ වසරක් වශයෙන් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන පුළුල් වැඩසටහන් වලට ඔබ සෑම කෙනෙකුගේම සහයෝගය මා ඉතාම ගෞරවයෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
Speaking at a press conference held in Colombo recently, Chairman of Kingdom of Raigam, Dr. Ravi Lenage, stated that the 15th edition of the Raigam Tellies will be held on the 23rd of March this year. The Raigam Tellies Award Ceremony Nominations Night is scheduled to be held on the 1st of March.
Now, this is the 15th annual ceremony of Raigam Tellies. The Raigam Tellies, we have converted it to Raigam Tellies. Now, it started with Raigam Telly Awards, confined to Raigam only for teledramas. And again, it was converted to the whole, to cover the whole spectrum of television industry, where we had started in about 10 years before as Raigam Tellies. We changed the name, and from there onward we have changed our magnitude and to cover up different spectrum of television industry. This is 15 year celebration, doing a Telly award ceremony in this caliber, this nature. It's not a joke. I mean, it's, as I mentioned in the Sinhalese version of it, it's about 4 million, the initial expenditure, and had gone up to 40 million last year. That's a 10-fold increase. But we bear it, the nomination evening, which is a new culture of the television industry. We have set many trends in the television award ceremony history. And if I start mentioning those things, that will count to about 10, 12, all the initiatives that we have taken and the new things, the novelties we have added up. But I'm not going to talk about all that. This is the first time in the world, in the world history, giving any award ceremony in any nature, not only television, not only film, but also for others, the first time ever, according to the knowledge we have gathered through cyberspace, and no one has ever offered insurance coverage for the winners. So this is the first time ever in the world,
Stay tuned for more news after this short commercial break. Welcome back. Responding to a question raised by a journalist during a special media briefing held in Colombo recently, Chairman of the British Sri Lanka Chamber of Commerce, Jayampati Perera, expressed the following views with regard to the depreciation of the Sri Lankan rupee.
At the international level, the dollar has hyped up to amazing levels. Even if you take the sterling pound, you look at the sterling pound, we are in a really bad state at the moment. Now, all this is going to affect the rupee here. So I won't blame the economic policy of Sri Lanka 100%. Okay, there are gaps in that also, but at the same time, this is also to do with the international monetary situation that the price. So whatever said and done, at the end of the day, we are being affected, severely affected. And within the next 6 months, there is a chance that it might further go down. So it will be interesting to see how we can come out of it, because we really have to produce goods and services and export in real terms to come out of this, right? So it all depends on how we are going to handle it at ground level. So I'm not criticizing the governor of the central bank. This is something all Sri Lankans have to face. If you are looking for a quick fix, it won't happen.
Elaborating further, Jayampati Perera made the following statement regarding Sri Lanka obtaining loans from the International Monetary Fund.
This is one country, when we get IMF handout, we are delighted we have got the money, right? This is not free money. We have to pay back, right? I mean, basically, we live out of IMF money from time to time. That has become the pattern. And we are delighted when IFM, grants our another part of the chunk. But somewhere down the line, we have to stop doing that, stop taking handouts from other places to live. I think as a developing country, most of the countries get money from IMF. But then if you get money from IMF, you have to play by the rules of the IMF, right? You can't have the cake and eat the cake. So I see from most of the newspapers here, they criticize, IMF getting involved in internal affairs, which is true. As a sovereign country, we have our own way of running it. But then when we ask for handouts, this is what happens. We have to, with that comes restrictions. The entire package comes in.
Now let's take a look at the weekly economic indicators released by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka last Friday. During the period, crude oil prices followed a mixed performance. Within the period, crude oil prices fell to lowest levels since end July 2017 on worries about a global economic slowdown amid higher US interest rates and the US-China trade dispute. However, prices subsequently rose following the rebound in stock markets and the forecasted decline in US crude inventories. Overall, both Brent and WTI prices rose by US 10 cents per barrel and US 60 cents per barrel, respectively, within the period. Weekly average prime lending rate for the week ending 28th December 2018 increased by 16 BPS to 12.09% compared to the previous week. The reserve money decreased compared to the previous week mainly due to decrease in currency in circulation and deposits held by the commercial banks. The total outstanding market liquidity increased to a deficit of Rs 171.429 billion by the end of the week compared to a deficit of Rs 176.429 billion by the end of last week. During the year up to 28th December 2018, the Sri Lankan rupee depreciated against the US dollar by 16.1%. Given the cross-currency exchange rate movements, the Sri Lankan rupee depreciated against the euro by 12.6%, the pound sterling by 11%, the Japanese yen by 17.7% and the Indian rupee by 8.2% during this period. Well, that's all the news we have for today. Join us tomorrow at the same time for more of the very latest. Thank you and good night.